Oh, we're live. Hang on. Okay. Welcome everyone to another evening of Identity Defined, our events week put on by the ABCU, where each evening we are looking at a different aspect of our identity and what the Bible has to say about it. My name is Dixie. I'm a first year history student here in ABBA, and I'll be hosting this evening. And this evening I'm joined by Andy Mayo, who will be, I believe, singing to us an acoustic night. But the title of this evening is Defined by My Expression. How am I defined by what I create? So yeah, Andy, do you want to first tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, just general?
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm from a little town that is about 40 minutes from the south coast, near Croydon, if you know have ever heard of Croydon, kind of a bit swallowed up by the south of London, and I'm actually sitting here tonight in a little looks like an old railway carriage, to share the evening with you.
Oh, nice! That's cool. Is the railway carriage in your house? Not in your house, but near your house.
Yeah.
Oh, cool!
Far away.
Nice.
Last time I came to ABBA, I came in a real railway carriage. So tonight, this is the next best thing.
Oh, that's very nice. Well, I like your background. So I don't think I have anything else to say, so I'll pass on to you.
Great. Oh, well, thank you. It's great to be with you, Dixie, and to be with you all tonight. So a big welcome. You might have been to loads of these events and you're really used to it. You know how it works and what happens. Or this might be the first time you've come. And so you're like me, if that's the case. So we're here for the first time together. I've been to ABBA quite a few times and played some music and walked down by the sea and just enjoyed your beautiful town. And so while I can't come properly, this is the next best thing, and really lovely to be sharing the evening with you. So I'm just going to sing a few songs for you, and then a little while after, shortly after past, Dixie is going to round up the evening. So it's going to be great. It's great to be able to just share a few songs with you from here, from my little railway carriage. Well, there's really kind of stories behind all my songs, and this first song, I wrote it when I'd lived for quite a while, not here in Croydon, but actually in a place that had really suffered from a civil war, and things that people had created, real beauty that there had been in that region. It was all broken up by this civil war that just came. And people who'd shared a town now became enemies. Even families were split up by the hatred between these different sides. And one afternoon, I was sitting with my guitar, a bit like tonight, and I was sitting at a green and just looking across the green with my cup of coffee. And in this kind of broken place, there was this moment of real beauty and innocence. And this little girl, she came out of this broken horizon, holding on to, perhaps it's her grandfather's hand. And I just called the song Princess in the Park. Let's get all our settings right here. Princess in the park, she holds his hand and steps across the green, and her white dress frills jump and sway as she skips and walks. She's 5 years old. She shines against the cold grey frowning landscape of bombed out buildings in the downtown parade. She's the princess in the park, and everyone turns to smile at her. They smile at her innocence, her joyful insistence to smell the orange flowers that grow between the paving, to point at the pigeon, to laugh at the old man who holds her hand. She's the princess in the park. She's the princess in the park. She's the princess in the park. I don't know whether you could picture that, whether you could see her walking through that park like I did that day, and it was so moving actually, and I wrote that song just looking at the brokenness of this world around, and then this beauty of this little girl just holding onto her grandfather's hand, that innocence and joy and life. And it's sitting in moments like that that you think to yourself, you know, this world is such a mixture of beauty and brokenness, and how can those characteristics coexist in the way that they do? I wrote this next song. Perhaps it's about somebody in ABBA, I'm not sure, but they're walking through the streets, and as they walk through the streets, they look at the adverts, you know, beside them, and they look at those adverts and they think, you know, I've never had that kind of life. I'll just switch it so you've got the right camera on, and they're looking at the adverts and thinking, you know, I've never had that kind of life. All of the promise of that has never come to me. And then he walks back home and he sees all the violence on the TV, perhaps some of the scenes we've just reflected on. And then he stands in front of a mirror and he just thinks that brokenness, it just stretches right down through the middle of his own heart too. And I called this song Broken Man. This broken man, he stands beside a billboard. He stares at plastic perfection and beauty, life out of reach, life never known. There's a pang of loss as he averts his aching eyes. This broken man, he stands before a TV and he stares at premeditated violence, war, life snatched by death, life stained by fear. He stifles unexplained guilt as he reaches for the remote. And in his heart, he kneels, overwhelmed. Yes, in his heart, he kneels. Who can rescue us now, this broken man? This broken man, he stands before a mirror and he stares at who he really is. Life that slides by and life left behind, and he searches for a glory that perhaps was never there. And in his heart, he kneels, condemned. Yes, in his heart, he kneels. He's just another broken man. He's just another broken man. This broken man, he stands before a wooden cross, and he stares at love calm down and haunting grace, haunting grace. Life poured out, life exchanged, the pierced hands of a God who reaches out Something resonates deep, deep in his soul. In his heart he kneels. Yes, in his heart he kneels before this crucified king. Yes, he kneels with nothing to bring. He kneels. Does he hear? Does he hear heaven sing? Does heaven sing for this? Does heaven sing for this? Does heaven sing for this? For this broken man? Great. Well, thanks again. Perhaps you just tuned in. So you're an ABBA. You're an Aberystwyth. You're in Wales. We're together. We're sharing a few songs. You kind of just met this busker, and I'm just telling some stories and sharing some songs for the next few minutes. And it's part of this series of events that the CU are putting on. And well, that first song was about a princess in a park and this kind of broken world, and yet the beauty of this innocent little girl, this toddler in the middle of that scene. And then the second song was about, well, it was about a guy in the street, and he's deeply aware of his brokenness, of the way that his own heart is kind of scarred. And he's searching for life that is going to bring answers. And in the last scene, he sees something, well, it's something that perhaps he's walked past it a million times before, but today it's like he sees it for the first time. And that's the point where, well, everything seems to change in his story. Well, this next song, I thought about whether I should even sing this one tonight, because it's about coming home. And some of us are saying, well, Andy, I've been at home enough, to be honest. But this song, it's about something bigger than just a physical home or a front door to shut behind you, but it's that place where we really belong, you know. And this song, it's about somebody who just keeps traveling and keeps looking. I love traveling. I love adventuring. In fact, I wrote bits of this song in Russia and in Serbia, but it's an echo of the way that we long for a place where we find belonging and home and peace. And it's simply called Dreams of a Homecoming. And he dreams of a homecoming. He dreams of a belonging. And he dreams of home. He dreams of, yeah, he dreams of a homecoming. He dreams of a belonging. And he dreams of home. Dreams of peace. And home fills his heart, brings tears to his eyes, and he can almost picture it now. But he's looking for the next train time, he's asking for the next boat line. And he dreams of a homecoming. He dreams of a belonging. And he dreams of home. He dreams of peace. Yeah, he dreams of a homecoming. He dreams of a belonging. And he dreams are home. He dreams of dreams of peace. And every road, every step, and every hitchhike ride, every touching conversation, every next bus station, every new situation. And he dreams of a homecoming. He dreams of a belonging. And he dreams of home. He dreams of dreams of peace. Somehow he feels that this is not the place as he stares into another stranger's face. But he's asking for directions and he's asking for suggestions. He's asking for acceptance. And he dreams of a homecoming. And he dreams of a belonging. And he dreams of home. Dreams of, yeah, he dreams of a homecoming. He dreams of a belonging. And he dreams of home. He dreams of, he dreams of peace. Well, I don't know if you've ever had those kinds of longings. You know, I think that many of us do just long for that place where we'd really belong, that place where we'd really find peace, that place where we'd really find home. I really write most of my songs around this theme of the questions that we're asking ourselves. And the reason I write songs around this theme, the reason that my creativity kind of orients around this, is because, well, when I was at school, I came to a place where I came to this realization that there is a God who is good and who is clean, and that this God who is clean and good is actually one that I'm made to know and designed to be connected with. And that brought to me some kind of delight, but also horror at the same time. Because I began to think, well, look, if there is a God who is there, who is clean and good, what chance do I ever have of connecting with him? And it was then that these stories began to be shared with me about a God who doesn't stay far off, but a God who comes towards us. And particularly the claim that God has come among us, as among humanity, in the person of Jesus. And that Jesus, he came and he told wonderful stories, and he made broken things unbroken. But ultimately, that Jesus, he went to die a horrific death, a kind of death that was to step into my place, so that all the wrongness and the brokenness that define my life, that those things could be taken away because of him stepping in that place instead of me. And so since then, really, my songs have all been around that kind of theme, and you'd find me playing in a street or playing in a theatre or playing in a prison, and that is the kind of message that I want to be echoing out of these songs. This next song, it's a song about something that's very broken. It's a song actually about that Jesus and about him on a cross, and about how as he dies there, though, that he is stepping into our place to bring rescue. And what looks like the utter defeat of the cross breaks in to something else, something that is actually glorious and liberating, and something that brings life to into fullness for all those who would experience his touch. It's called a hill. Outside a city, it's a place for losers, waste and dirt. It's a place of execution, of misery, pain and retribution, where vengeance is meted out. It's a hill now with a cross raised, a hill where men cry out shouts of condemnation, of agitated satisfaction, as an anguished figure gasps. And it's a hill of bones and skulls and death and blood. Yeah, it's a hill of bones and skulls and death and blood. Now from the hill-piercing last words, they ring like Father forgive. It is finished, cuts gathering darkness and rocks, and tombs begin to shake. And it's a hill of bones and skulls and death and blood. It's a hill of bones and skulls and death and blood. But it's a hill of broken curses. It's a hill of bittersweet. It's a hill of liberation, a hill where grace takes her seat. Yeah, a hill where grace takes her seat. Cause on this hill the Lord Almighty, He prepares a banquet feast. Aged wine, rich food of celebration. Cause on this hill He removed the shroud that covers every nation. On this hill He swallowed up death forever. And on this hill He'll wipe each tear-stained eye. 'Cause on this hill He removed the disgrace of His people. Yeah, He removed the disgrace that's yours and that's mine. 'Cause it's a hill of bones and skulls and death and blood. Yeah, it's a hill of bones and it's a hill of skulls, death and blood. But it's a hill of broken curses. It's a hill of bittersweet. It's a hill of liberation, a hill where grace takes her seat. Said it's a hill of broken curses. It's a hill of bittersweet. It's a hill of liberation, a hill where grace takes her seat. Yeah, it's a hill where grace takes her seat. Yeah, a hill where grace takes her seat. You know, in the middle or the end of that song, it resonates with this ancient piece of poetry by a poet called Isaiah, and he's a kind of prophetic poet writing before Jesus came, and he speaks of this hill where all of the brokenness and the shroud that covers every nation is going to be taken away. And I'm sure that as he wrote it, he was wondering, what is this? How is this going to happen? And then the claim is that when Jesus came, he was the one who fulfilled all of those ancient prophecies, all those ancient dreams, and that he came to bring that life and that freedom, that liberation. You know, a personal story. I wasn't far from this little railway carriage when it really became clear to me that this wasn't just some hopeful fairy story, but that if we investigate these things, there's actually so much evidence for who Jesus was and what he claimed for himself. And that these ideas of there being a God who is there, who is good and clean, and the reality that myself, my own heart, is neither of those things, but then this realization that Jesus has come for this kind of rescue that song was speaking about. Well, it actually drove me to my knees. I literally knelt down and I said, God, if you're there, I'm sorry for the way I've been just trying to live for myself. Please forgive me on the basis of Jesus' death and resurrection. And thank you for this life that you want me to experience. And that was the beginning of the revolution for me. And this next song, it's a song that speaks of love. I might just sing you a couple more songs before we hand back to Dixie to tell us some of the other things that are happening. But this song, it speaks of a love that is overflowing, spilling over. It's called Lavish. Lavish love that drives out fear, lavish love embracing near, lavish love, adopting love that calls you child, adopting love pure, undefiled. Lavish love is love endures forever. His faithfulness stands for all time. Tamed by years, from out of this world love the life appears. Lavish love, forgiving love dies on a cross, forgiving love my gain. His love, his love, his love endures forever. His faithfulness stands for all time. Yeah, his love endures forever. His faithfulness stands for all time. Life birthing love to conquers death, conquers death. His love endures forever, and his faithfulness stands for all time. Yeah, his love endures forever. Yeah. His faithfulness stands for all time. Lavish, lavish love, lavish love. Lavish love. Well, one more song before we hand back to Dixie, and this last song for now is called "This Is For You," and it's for you, and it's a song that well, it speaks a bit about life, how it was before lockdown, you know, riding on the train and thinking about big things as we travel from one place to the next. Then the second verse is, well, we're kind of a bit locked down really and just reaching for the phone. And the last verse is kind of perhaps some of us have been in this kind of place of real struggle and darkness and doubt during these days, these challenging times. But the refrain that runs through the song, again, they're not actually my words. I've rejigged them a bit to scan in our language. But the words speak of a God who is rising to show compassion, a loving God who comes towards us. And of course, the way that he does that, as I've been saying tonight, is in the person of Jesus. And this song is for you. This is for you as you sit in your car, drink at the bar, as you ride the train, as you walk in the rain, as you look at your reflection, as you question your direction. It's for you. It's for you. This is for you as you dream alone. Reach for the phone as you think too deep. Feel your heart leap as you laugh out loud, as you wow the crowd. It's for you. It's for you. The Lord is slow to anger and abounding in love and faithfulness. He longs to be gracious to you. He rises to show to you compassion. Is for you as you struggle with doubt. Cry out as you hide the pain. Fall down again as you try to hide, as you die in inside, it's for you. It's for you. The Lord is slow to anger and abounding in love and faithfulness. He longs to be gracious to you. He rises to show to you compassion. The Lord is slow to anger and abounding in love and faithfulness. He longs to be gracious to you. He rises to show to you compassion. This is for you. This is for you.
Well, thank you very much for those, Andy. They were all very good, they were. Thank you very much. Before I just hand over back to Andy for his final song, I'm just going to wrap up for us. Just a couple of things to go through. Firstly, tomorrow evening, we don't have a normal event like we would this evening, but we do have, it's the final day to send in your questions for our Mail-a-Maoam event. So if you have any questions from any of the talks this week, or just any questions in general, just send them in and we will answer those and get them back to you via post with a couple of Maoams. And yeah, so we'll do that. So the final day for that is tomorrow, midday 12, I believe. So yeah, that's tomorrow. If you want to follow us on social media, we're on both Instagram and Facebook, so you can just get to know more about the CU here in ABBA, or any upcoming events we have, weekly meetings. Just give us a follow on those. Friday the 26th of Feb will be our last and next normal event that we've been doing, which is Defined by Christ, how Jesus gives us an identity. So come along to that. It would be great to have you tune in with us to watch it. After the end of these events weeks, we will be having an Identity Explored follow-up session starting on Wednesday, March 3rd at 7 p.m, but I'll let the video explain more about how that's going to work. That's great. So like I said, that will start Wednesday, 3rd of March at 7 p.m. on Zoom. There's no need to know anything prior about Luke. Just come along. I'll be there. Great to see you there. And there'll be a link in the comments for feedback forms that you can, not feedback forms, got those mixed up. There'll be a link in the comments where you can sign up for that starting Wednesday, 3rd of March. I also forgot to say there's also a link in the comments for the Mail-a-Maoam event for you to click on, and you can send in your questions to us via that. There's also be another link in the comments, giving you quite a few, with a link to feedback forms where you can just tell us about what you thought about the events, likes, dislikes. Just let us know how you've been finding them. that's everything I have to say. So I'll hand back over to Andy for his final song.
Hey, thanks, Dixie. Great. Well, thanks everyone for being a part of tonight, and looking forward to those connections now, and those opportunities to keep on reflecting on these biggest themes. I've just finished a song today, so this is a world premiere. I wanted to, when you finish something new, you want to kind of share it. So I read a verse that just really stunned me, and this verse out of the Bible, it speaks about the God of heaven, how he holds out his hands, a kind of patient, gracious, loving holding out of his hands. And so I wrote this song just reflecting on that. But wish you all the best. Thanks for having me in Aberystwyth, and thanks Dixie and for all those who have been running the event behind the scenes, and looking forward to you connecting more and reflecting more on these biggest themes. We couldn't be talking about anything bigger than this tonight, could we? So this song, it's a new one, first time ever played in public, just finished a few hours ago. Out his hands, beckons light into blind eyes. He holds out his hand, brings hope like a sunrise. He holds out his hands, and he brings peace to this crazed man's cries. He holds out his hand. Holds out his hands, and now they're pierced through. He holds out his hands, and he's lifted for all to view. He holds out his hands, and as he does, a barrier is torn in two. He holds out his hands. Holds out his hand. Hands that raise the dead. Gave the hungry bread. Hands that make the broken new. Out for you. Yeah. He holds out his hands. He holds out his hands. He holds out his hands. They sculpted the heavens. He holds out his hands, they're scarred with compassion. He holds out his hands, and when you look you can see that there's your name written on them. So when you look you can see that there's your name written on them. He holds out his hands. Holds out his hand. He holds out his hand.
Thank you so much, Andy. That was really good for just being written this afternoon. Wow, thank you.
In for Abba then.
Yeah, it's been great to have you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you to everyone who's been watching. Don't forget to send in your questions and that link in the comment for our Mail-a-Maoam event tomorrow. It finishes midday. I think that's everything I have to say, but thank you again very much, Andy. It was great to have you this evening. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.